See, passion never takes no for an answer. Passion is created by purpose that is so strong that not even death could stop the urge. Let me tell you something, friends. When you are obligated to do something, no one can stop you. Are you obligated to go to work? Or are you going to work because they're paying you a salary? Think about it. In other words, if what you're doing, you could stop doing and still be happy, you have not discovered your purpose yet. If you could change jobs and do something completely different and still be happy, you've not discovered your purpose yet. See, what you were born to do is the only thing that can satisfy you. And it's the only thing you are obligated to do. That means you are destined for this. My friends, that's what's wrong with life. People don't have any obligation in life. By the way, if you are obligated to finish something in life, then you don't quit until you finish. Which means obligation cancels retirement. A person who finds their obligation in life, their passion in life, their purpose in life, they never think of a rocking chair. They never dream of a golf course for the rest of their lives. They dream of dying with the words, "It is finished," on their lips. A person who have an obligation for what they're doing are not interested in long vacations. You know, when you have a passion for what you're doing, people have to remind you that it's time to eat. See, the problem is people are not living their purpose. That's why they don't have any passion. What is it that you discover that causes you to wake up in the morning? Until you find something more important than food, you haven't found your purpose yet. When a person has discovered their purpose, a passion rises up inside of them that keeps them away from even food. They don't even take vacations. You got to beg them to rest because they got a passion for living. When a person has found their purpose, they are strange. They have no working hours. Only people with jobs got working hours. People with purpose have no working hours. Then there's no punch clock for them. They go to work just when they wake up, and they stay to work until they fall down dead. And if you check all the great people of history, that's the way they lived. Ain't no mystery to life. I mean, Paul, what a man. The guy preached all night until the guy fell out of the window and died. We must discover something that makes us have a reason for living beyond death. You know, Martin Luther King was a great man. And like all people who discovered their purposes, he took on a spirit that was very difficult to handle. You know, people heard Martin Luther's testimony as he spoke from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial years ago, and that great speech he gave.
I have a dream.
How many of you have ever heard that dream? You ever heard it before? Isn't that a great speech? But do you know that the greatest message this man ever gave was not on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial? His greatest message was given in a small little church in Alabama that could only seat maybe a couple hundred people. And he was speaking at this church service, and I remember listening to that speech, and I said to myself, that's the greatest statement the man ever made. What was it? He stood before those people, and by this time, they had threatened to kill him all over the country. He knew that there were people out there who did not agree with his philosophy, but he was born to do what he was doing. And you could see it in his eyes. You could almost feel it in every word he said. And do you know the words that spoke from that man's heart that was an indication of his passion and purpose was this? He said, "It doesn't matter anymore." Boy, that's a powerful statement. What are you waiting on? That's it. You see, you'll never change the world and impact your generation until you can say, it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they plan. It doesn't matter what they try. They can't stop me. Why? I'm already dead.
Resolve says I will.
Two of the most powerful words in the language, I will. Benjamin Disraeli once said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake even its existence on the extent of its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die. See, that's powerful. That could be the day that turns your life around. The world has a strange way of stepping aside when somebody says, I'll do it or die. The man says, I will climb the mountain. They've told me it's too high, it's too far, it's too rocky, it's too difficult, it's never been done before, but it's my mountain, I will climb it. Pretty soon you'll see me waving from the top. Or dead on the side, because I ain't coming back.
When he said it doesn't matter anymore, he became a dead man. How can you kill a dead man? I wonder if you found a dream that can cause you to say, it doesn't matter anymore. You know, that's how it is with me. What I was born to do is so clear. It's on paper. I got it all written down. I got my life in detail on paper for the next 50 years. That means about 95 years old, I should be around finishing everything. And do you know, that makes me very dangerous. Because it means your opinions are too late. If you threaten to kill me, you might as well shoot now. If you want to stop me, you might as well get all the armor you can. Why? Because I've discovered something more important than your threat. That's what purpose is all about. There's a passion for success. Success, therefore, has to have passion in it. If you could stop doing what you're doing and still be happy, you don't have any passion for what you're doing. You know, one of the weakest things I've seen in people's lives, they don't have a plan. I was talking to a young lady yesterday who was driving me, and I said to her, what's your vision in life? She says, I know you're going to ask me that. And she says, you know, I don't have one. I said, well, you really are only existing. I said, you got nothing on paper for what you want to do for the rest of your life?
Everybody hopes things will get better. Everybody hopes. Poor people hope. That ought to tell you something. It means the future does not get better by hope. It gets better by plan.
It says, God has left it up to you to put the plans down on paper. But how it's going to be done, he says, he'll answer that one. He says, whatever you're dreaming, put it on paper. Whatever I put in your heart, write it down. Whatever you see in your vision, put it on paper, no matter how big it is. That means if you begin to dream of yourself owning a hotel, he says, write it down. Describe the rooms, describe the parking lot, put it all down. He says, don't worry about the $10 million to build it. You see, what we do is we try to do God's job. We try to explain how we're going to pay for it. He says, no, leave the reply to me. Leave the explanation to me. You write the plan on paper. You see, I've learned something. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Well, it even goes a little more important than that in this vein. If you don't have a plan, you will fail. Which means God will direct your steps if you have a plan. If you don't have a plan, God has nothing to direct. That's why you live from day to day, pillar to post, however the cookie crumbles, whichever the way the mop flops. People's lives have flops. No direction, no sense of system, no sense of direction, and no scheme to it. They just kind of float from place to place, job to job, and just thing from thing and problem to problem. Then really, you never had that dream in the first place.
Jesus, the master teacher, said, don't just be listeners, be doers. The world admires the doers. Whatever it takes to get you to try harder, read more, set your goals, and go for it.
And I'm talking about your biography is not your destiny. And it doesn't matter what you've been through. What you decide now is what's going to control your life. What you decide each day going forward is going to decide your life. Free yourself from the chains of your past.
And that's one of the things that's very important. This God said, if you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. And if you cannot grow, you cannot become your best. And if you cannot become your best, you cannot be happy. And if you can't be happy, then what else is there?